Alrighty, so for my presentation, I'm going to be talking about the Chamaeleo calyptratus, also known as the veiled chameleon. Now, I did get my chameleon at PetSmart, but I also did go to Petco and the pet supermarket, and it was also a veiled chameleon, so they are actually very common. So to start, for the classification, it is a tetrapod, and it's a part of the group Lepidosauria, and it's a squamata. Squamata. Potato. It has four limbs. It is a vertebrate, and of course, it has overlapping scales, so it's a scale reptile. I did include a picture just so you guys can kind of see what it looks like zoomed in with all the colors going on. I thought it was really pretty. Just to mention, the scales are extremely important because it helps them from getting any cuts or burns as they climb trees and walk around on the ground. A majority of chameleons are in the jungle, but a lot of them are actually in the desert, so they are exposed to a lot of heat. So this does a lot for them. It also helps protect them from the loss of body moisture, so it keeps them very healthy. It's super key important to their survival, these scales, and because chameleons are so closely related to lizards, the same would go for them in this case. So for the natural habitat, I included a rainforest, a desert, and mountains because this is where mainly you would find them. Your light green chameleons that we always see, sometimes you guys will see them in movies or in like cartoons, like they're like the picture perfect chameleon. They're super light green. Those always come from the jungle. They're literally always in the jungle. And what I found out while doing my research is that a majority of the time when you see a chameleon, depending on its true colors, that's kind of how you know what its natural habitat is. So for the veiled chameleon, they're actually native to the Arabian Peninsula in Yemen and Saudi Arabia. So they're more exposed to like the desert and the mountains. In their natural true state, they're like a brown shade. When they're just there sitting, they're like a brownish shade. And then that goes for any of the other ones. Same thing applies. And also, these tend to be a little bit bigger than the ones you'd find in the jungle. So the deserted ones are a little bit bigger. So, adaptations. Here we go. The biggest adaptation and the coolest one is going to be the fact that it gets to change colors. Being that it changes colors, of course, it's hidden from predators. You cannot see it. It literally blends into its environment, as you can see in that first picture, which I think is amazing. And the way that they do that is that they adjust a layer of special cells that are nestled within their skin, which is really cool. So this is different from any other species that can change color. It actually took scientists a long while to figure out why and how they can do this. So they recently found that out by my knowledge after I researched. So the second adaptation is going to be their tongue. Their tongue is extremely long and it helps them from getting out of their comfort. So if they feel safe up above a branch, all they have to do is extend their tongue and they get their food, which is amazing because they don't have to move around a lot. Next is going to be the fact that its eyes are independent. So when it feels like someone is approaching, they can notice it with their right eye and their left eye will stay still. So, moving into life cycle. The life cycle. Basically, their eggs look like little beans. Thought it was so cute. So, for the life cycle, it of course is sexual reproduction, male and female mate. So the female carries her eggs for about 4 to 5 weeks till the eggs are ready to be deposited. The mother will dig a hole, and after about 6 months, the eggs are ready to hatch. Depending on the species, it can range from 4 to 12 months, but of course, for this specific one, like I mentioned, it is 6 months. So then within the next 2 to 3 days, they begin to eat insects. So it's not like other ones where they have to kind of learn and wait for their mother, like aka birds. 2 to 3 days, they're good to go. They're looking for insects. And then within 20 seconds of them hatching, they're actually ready to start changing colors, which I find phenomenal. Like they're just out the wound, ready to go, ready for life. So for this species, particularly the veiled chameleon, it takes about 6 months for them to fully mature. Just to add a quick side note before I wrap it all up, not all chameleons lay eggs. Some actually have live births with up to 30 offspring. And that is it.